like e-commerce can get away with neglecting SEO because you have like social and all these other channels, but a lot of brands have significant opportunity in gaining organic search traffic and then converting that traffic. I'll also quickly plug a tool called Matcha, which could be a great partner tool for SEMrush, because once you've got the keyword research and you know the content that you want to create and how to rank better for it, you might start creating blog content to link to your product detail pages and to your category pages. And this tool helps track the revenue that's actually generated from blog content. And so today we're going to talk about using like detailed data strategies and the power of SEMrush to increase organic search rankings and to understand what all the mistakes we're making on our stores today, how to better optimize things like product descriptions and meta titles and descriptions, stuff like that. Fernando, I'm sure you've got the whole thing laid out. I'll let you take it away from here.
Hi, Derek. Thank you very much. Yes, I have all the data. We got a lot of information about how e-commerces were doing the last half of a year. And of course, I'm going to present all the data. I call this presentation the 10. Oh, let me share my screen first.
Yep.
Because I prepared something really good here. And now you're seeing my screen. Yeah, perfect. So I call this presentation the 10 of the most deadly e-commerce mistakes and how to fix it. Right. So we're gonna start with different strategies to understand how, in a technical way, you can go and fix those mistakes that everybody, like 99% of the e-commerces, are doing. So let's just stay tuned and let's start with some numbers. This is us. This is SEMRush. We are 12 years in the market, more than 6 million users, 900 employees, and 7 offices all over the world. Actually, with this situation, I'm working the last 4 months from home, but I can be working anywhere as my colleagues in Dallas, in Boston, Philadelphia, St. Petersburg, Prague, or in Brazil, or in Australia, or in Japan, for example. And these are some of our clients. We have learned a lot about their processes. And of course, we research them a lot to see how they are working, right? Because when you have a team and you're working with some processes, you need to have tools. You can see a Formula One car without any tools. You cannot do anything. So in order to be the fastest, you need to be you need to be working with some tools. And for doing that, let me start with these instructions. So today we're going to be problems related to technical SEO, but I'm not going to be very complex. I'm going to go step by step with the top 10 most deadly mistakes. And here, let's go with the first part. So technical SEO, we're going to be dividing this in 4 different strategies. The first one is delivery. We're going to be talking about the speed, performance, security, then relevance. In relevance, we're going to be talking about the internal architecture of the web page, the internal link in the content. Then we go to infrastructure, crawlability, and then we're going to be going with trust, because trust for any person that is trying to acquire something from your business is something really fundamental. Okay, let's start with the top 10. And here we're going to start with the technical mistakes. Actually, when we are entering into any website, this is one of the most typical problems for anyone. It's called crawlability. And imagine that you are creating a web page that nobody can see, right? So here, this is the problem for most of the e-commerces. So we have researched 100,000 e-commerces all over the globe. And as you can see here in my statistics, the blue number shows the percentage of websites affected by the issue, right? So overall, that's the blue color. The orange color is matching the average percentage of the website pages affected by that issue. So in this case, you can see here that permanent redirects, which are not bad if they are implemented correctly, they are affecting 85% of all e-commerce websites. But those pages are only inside of those websites are only the 4% of them. So this problem is affecting a lot of websites if this is not implemented correctly. Then we have blocked from crawling. So pages that are just blocking crawlers for example, the Google crawler or the Bing crawler or Yandex crawler. They're just blocking it. Then we have in the third place the 400 errors. That means that the server is not working, the page is not found. This problem is affecting 76% of all e-commerces. And then you have temporary redirects that you might, or your technicians may be forgotten, and they have been there for years, right? So these are the top 4 SEO commerce mistakes that most of the pages in the world are having. Then, as you can see here, if we are forgetting about the numbers, this is the example of a poor site architecture. You can see here different, so we have the main page, right? The home page, and we have the internal structure of your website with silos. You have in one place, one thing that is working by themselves. At the other hand, you have another type of a structure, very complex, that also are creating silos. So having silos that are not related to each other inside of your website, that is a huge problem that is happening with permanent redirects, with temporary redirects. That is affecting, of course, the overall function of your web page. You're not having the right traffic, the traffic that you wanted. Take a look at the architecture of your web page, because this is the architecture that the web page that you have needs to be working on. You have the homepage, different category for each product, then the subcategory for products, then you have the products, and everything is aligned. So this architecture is really clean, and it's very easy to understand, not only for people when they are navigating inside of your pages, but what is the most important thing is for crawlers, for search engines. It's an architecture that is easy to crawl for them. So crawlability is the main issue for most of the web pages. Let's go with the second one, right? And this is a real thing that is killing most of the e-commerce websites, and that is internal linking. Imagine that you are just creating pages, or maybe they are being created automatically, right? You have an algorithm that is creating one page and another page, but they are not linked into each other. You don't have any internal links. And that's the problem that is affecting 95%, let's say 96% of all e-commerces. And inside of those 95% e-commerces, you can see that that is a problem that is affecting 26% of all the pages. So that is a huge number. That means that you have different pages that are working alone. If you have something that is really popular, let's say your star product, you don't have any links to internal subcategories, for example, or to additional products that you can be upselling. For example, you are selling bikes, but you also need to sell wheels, let's say, or you can sell, I don't know, brakes, for example. Any other additional product, you need to have links for those pages, and you need to have most of them inside of the most popular pages. You need to have those links. The second problem here is the broken internal links. So you have so many pages, but there are a lot of them. Take a look at this number, 75%, almost 76% of all e-commerce websites, they have problems with internal links. So that means that they have so many pages, and most of them, you click on those links and those pages are not there anymore. Why? Maybe you migrate the page to somewhere else. Maybe you change the technology from HTTP to HTTPS and you forget to put there the redirection. Whatever it happened, the problem is affecting a lot of businesses. As you can see here, for example, which is a site audit that I was doing with one of our clients. I'm not going to say the name, but the problem with internal linking is affecting a lot. And if you have some products that you really want to promote, you really want to have more traffic there, this is something that you need to fix. And it's something that in any site audit, you can have as an error that is affecting from people finding that page. You have those pages, but nobody's seeing it because you don't have those links put in other popular pages. So broken external links is something that is also not a good signal, because imagine someone is clicking on a link that you put to a provider to an affiliate, and it's not working, bad experience, pain for users, right? So this is the structure that you need to have when you are interlinking your pages. So don't have any silos, please. You don't need to create those silos. You have the home page, your main idea for your product, your category, and you have the supporting content for that bicycle, for that product that you're having there. Then you have the conversion point, the landing page that is supporting that product as well. And all of them are interlinked. You have the links for them, and you need to create, and this is the amazing part of marketing, you need to have a related idea that is connecting this product to the other one. So imagine you are selling bikes. Okay, maybe you can offer there as well, I don't know, sunglasses, or you can offer their shoes, right? Because you need those for riding bike, or whatever the product can be, to be connected with the other product. So any related idea that needs to be there is acceptable. So something that really is important to understand here is, in order to user find any product, they don't need to do more than 2 clicks. So that's the rule here. So you have the main idea, the category, that's already your 2 clicks, right? So they have already all the list of the products, and they can go and see the product that they want. Okay, the next 3 and 4 top of the mistakes, I gathered into one. I was thinking that they're really connected to each other. They're different, but they need to be connected. So the first one is the sitemap that you need to have, and the next one is the robot.txt, file. So when you want to have any crawler, in this case, a search engine, a map to find what is the structure of your web page, you need to have these 2 files, the sitemap and the robot.txt file, and the sitemap inside of your robot.txt file. Imagine here, we found out that 38% of the e-commerce that we researched, they don't have any sitemap at all. So Google is just guessing what is the structure of those pages. They are just trying to identify what is the main product, or they're just not showing anything because you don't have that one, right? Having a sitemap is easy. There are several tools that can create one from you, depending on the CMS that you are using. And also, in other cases, they have the sitemap, but they didn't set up that sitemap into the Search Console, for example. They have it in another pages that is not found by Google. You didn't report where's your sitemap. So that's an important step that you need to do. You don't need to understand what is the content that you want to publish or make more public to Google, to crawlers. So in this case, you need to have the sitemap created and allocated. And of course, you need to make this call in order to understand, okay, I have my web page and all the structure is here. The second problem, which is not that big, as you can see here, but it's related, is that the robot.txt file was not found. And if you don't have the robot.txt file, where is your sitemap? You need to put there. So the robot.txt is that file that is allowing or is declining any robot, any crawlers to enter to your web page. But if you are declaring that you have a robot.txt file, that means that you are accepting robots to your page, in this case, Google, and you need to identify there, you need to put there your sitemap, say, hey, here is my sitemap, go and crawl all these pages, my product pages, category pages, the content pages. Sometimes you don't need to have everything there because, okay, your terms and conditions, why Google needs to crawl that? People are not going to be searching for that on Google. At least it is something really important. For example, reimbursements, right? So all the information in those 2 files is really important. I was in different countries at the beginning of the year for e-commerce events, and some business owners that I was asking if they had or not any sitemap, they didn't have any idea about these 2 files. So right now, you know, sitemap, robot.txt, two really important files. Okay, we're at the middle of the top 10, and this, the number 5 is security. And in terms of security, we are talking about HTTPS implementation. And that's a security protocol that is included in your website by few certificates. So in this case, we found out that 72% of all websites that we research, they don't have any, they have links that are guiding to HTTP non-secure pages from an HTTPS site, which is creating mixed content, which is the next problem, right? So imagine someone is trying to buy from you, they see in their browser that log, and they say, okay, this page is secure. But when they're entering to another portion of your website, they see that in that log is not there. They will see a message from Chrome, for example, or from other browser that this page is insecure. You be aware about that, right? So the trust that you're generating there, just from that simple message, is already declining on any user. It's going down really fast. Why? Because imagine they want to buy something from you and they have something that is not really good from the browser, which is the minimum of the problems. The maximum of the problem is, of course, malware, viruses, hackers that can hack your entire web page if you don't have that. Of course, if a hacker wants to hack you, they're gonna do it. But at least you have this part of the problem solved, right? If we go with the next security problem, so I specify that you have the security HTTPS protocol in the place, but you need to be sure that the server that where you have hosted your website and all the certificates, the SSL security certificates, are up to date. So here you can see we have the HTTPS for high-speed server connection support, that most of the website, they're not thinking about this. Their certificates, they have an incorrect name, 40%, or the certificate expired a while ago, or they have an old version of the protocol. So all these problems are fixable. But the problem is when you already have all of this and there are malware of theirs, hackers, whatever, that they have the knowledge about this information, that you have these weak points on your website that is easy to penetrate for any hacker. Let's go with the next part, which is on-page optimization. So let's go in deep, really hard on this, which is the part of content. Let's forget about, okay, if you have the site structure, if you have the links, if you have even what is happening inside of your robot.txt file, the sitemap, if you have already the secure part with HTTPS implementation, now is the time when you need to think about content. Because if you don't have all of that solved, nobody's going to be finding your content, or Google is not going to be pushing up your content for better rankings. So now is the part to go with content. And the problem with content is that most of the e-commerces, they don't write any content. They have low text. If we go with the all HTML version, they have images, they have frames, but they don't have text. That's the main problem. That's the main pain. 96% of the e-commerces, they just have pictures, very weak title, and practically that's it, 96%. And this problem is affecting 84% of all the pages. So this is a huge problem. E-commerces, they're having a lot of problems with content because they don't have it. The next problem is similar, but it's worse. Why? Because this is duplicate content. So if you have a page and Google is finding out that that content is shown in another web page, for you, that's duplicated content, and that can be penalized. In this case, 82% of all websites, they have that problem, but this is affecting only 7% of the web page. Another problem that is related to the first two problems that we had here is the low word count. Overall, the number of words in an e-commerce is really low. So in this case, let's take a look. Content that match the user intent. That's the one that you need to have. Think about content as another product that is helping you to sell the actual real product that you have. So a content strategy is based on words that are really attractive for your user, but not only words, right? Because content is not only words. It can be video, it can be images, it can be anything that attracts and engage the user's intent. In this case, take a look at the numbers here. This is a tool that is called SEO Content Template that is helping you to identify what are the words that really match well, that are really good for writing content. And this is for different pages, right? And if we go with links, what are the links? What are the resources that you need to have in order to make more clear that you are talking about this product? And as you see a little bit down, what is the readability score? So that means what is how easy this content needs to be for the reader. If you are selling, I don't know, shoes, that's something different. If you are selling, for example, chemical products, or if you are selling, for example, I don't know, in this case, health products, you need to go with a different language that is also included here with this report. And of course, how many words you need to have there in order to be attractive, or also in order to be more relevant for rankings. In this case, take a look here, is 1,145 words just for that page. And here we're talking about batteries, right? In this case, you see that you have all this information, you send all this information to your copywriter, and they say, okay, I'm gonna create something based on research, based on that, on data. And of course, when we're looking about the content, we need to be sure that we are thinking about the first page of the results, in this case, the first page of Google. And you see, okay, in the first place, you see that you have a list as the featured snippet that you have there. Below that, you see the people also ask results that are over there. That's basically the whole page these days. You don't have any other results. Some experts, some specialists are calling those results position 0, because you have the position 1 below. If you have a notebook like the one that I'm working right now, that's the whole page of your notebook, right? On the other hand, you see here that there are other type of results, which are videos. Videos for e-commerces are really good ones. Why? Because there are not so many out there. And if you have the first position, the position 0, the featured snippet, the people also ask result, and then a video, you are actually dominating the first page of the result, which is brand awareness. Any brand that is having a marketing team, they're first creating the marketing experience for their users, then they are creating the brand experience, which is, okay, I know there's the brand name of this page, I'm gonna go back again. And for doing that, you need to think very well about meta descriptions. What a boring word, right? Meta description, what is that? So imagine that you're trying to find something. People are asking questions most of the time to the search engine. And here you can see how to write a good blog post meta description. And the first result is telling you, okay, how to write, it's repeating basically what you're saying. But then you see the words for what is inside of that content. Learn how to write meta description that engage searches and improve. And then you see 3 points, 3 dots, right? That means that, okay, this content is not really complete and it's not optimized. It's not a good experience to read it. Second result, okay, from 2007 post on Google Webmaster Central blog is worth Google's tips on how to write a good meta description log, and then also 3 dots. And that means, okay, these results are not really good because of the meta description. That meta description is not complete. Actually, this is not a good result because this is not the first position of Google. This is not the first page of Google. This is the 10th page of Google, which nobody is checking because of that, because the meta description is not that good. So that's why 89% of e-commerces, they are having these problems with ranks, because they are just duplicating meta description. They are not thinking about it. They are not working with it, or they are missing meta description at all. They had it just in blank. Let's go with the next one, which are title tags, which are really good for having better results. And 90% of e-commerces, they are not thinking about them. They're just duplicating as the meta description. The title tag goes first because it's the title. And you can see here that another problem is that the title element is just too long. So you will have those 3 dots as well there. And you can see it there. For example, good title tags, as you can see here, the title tags. Title tag, for example, Moz, brilliant. Title tags guide, good and bad examples, search engine watch, brilliant. How to write title tags for search engine optimization, search, 3 dots. Okay, if you see 3 dots there, that means that they are not optimized. This is the 3rd position, and that was a long time ago. These days, this page is not ranking even in the 1st page of Google. So think about the title tags, something that, okay, if you have those 3 dots, you are doing something bad, or your specialists are doing something bad. A really beautiful meta tag, a really full meta title, title tag, and meta description for any result that you have there. For example, this is a beautiful snippet. This is a result. You see the title tag, then you see the beautiful URL, because why not? Then you see the ratings, right? The aggregated ratings. You see the number of people that are voting to that. The description is really beautiful. You see the name of the director, the name of the actors. All of that is possible with schema markups. You can use that for different pages, for different results, to push more the results for better ranks and to be more attractive for users. So for doing that, just take a look how great the markups are for mobile devices. You can have all the schemas there. You can use it, for example, the ratings. You can check the numbers, the phone numbers for the store, or actually people can buy immediately from them. The last most daily problem, which is images. With images, the problem for that 86% of e-commerces are facing are the missing out attributes. What is an out attribute? When you see an image and you just pass your mouse cursor over any of those pictures, you will see a small text appearing, which is the description of that image, right? Most of the images, they don't have that because they are thinking that, okay, Google is so smart because they are using artificial intelligence to recognize what is inside of the pictures, but that's not the problem. The problem is that any search engine, even Google, they're still robots. And you need to specify what is inside of that image. Why is that? Because those images and those attributes, imagine if you're seeing the picture of the Earth from the space, right? You need to write that there. This is the Earth, a view from the Earth from the space, right? That's the alt attribute that you need to use there. In this case, let's take a look how you need to write, for example, for a blog post. This is the SEO writing assistant, and you have here different metrics, different attributes to make your page more likable, more engaging, right? So with this tool, you can have the structure of the page, how good is the internal linking, the external linking, how easy to read is for people, and what are the target keywords and the other words that are making more rich this and relevant the entire text. So you have the tools to do that immediately. All the things that I was mentioning about the content are explained here. And if we go to the last factor, which is trust, you can go and say, okay, you can trust me, right? But that's not the case. You need to build that with a beautiful and really remarkable website that Google and the people can trust. How you can perform it. So let's go with the final 2 minutes. This is the first part that you need to do in order to check and solve all those results one by one. Start by running your site audit. There are tons of tools there. Of course, I'm using SEMRush for this example. Just run that site audit. The only thing that you need to do is go and put there the name of your website, and voila, in 5 or 10 minutes, you will have all the errors, the warnings, and the notices that you need to be fixing. And you can see the number of pages that actually Google is seeing, because we found the robot.txt or the sitemap here. Then review the problems that you have there one by one. Actually, their location, how to fix them is already there on the site audit. With some of them, it's really easy, like opening the CMS and having all those changes there. Or for others, you need to have a programmer there to help you. Then view the thematic report. So all these problems, crawlability, security, international SEO, performance overall, and internal linking are values that you need to fix overall. Then you need to analyze each report to understand how, what is the pain of the people when they are entering into your website. They are doing 1 click, 2 clicks, or take a look of this result. Some people, they need to do 4 clicks in order to see 936 pages, which is really painful. They're not going to be doing those 4 clicks like never, right? And the last part is review the list of the problems URL by URL. So this is a process that you need to create using different workflows. You have your tasks, tools, you have your teams, and you're sending all these problems in order to be fixed, which is really interesting and passionating job. Go problem by problem, solving level by level, and after that, just fix those errors, and you will need to be monitoring how good your errors are being fixed, how deep you are going inside of your web page, and you need to keep it simple, because SEO is not that difficult. It's something that you need to just be focusing on the most important KPIs, which can be for you traffic, it can be views, or it can be the conversions that you have. So thank you for your attention. If you want to have all of these strategies in just one single place, just please download this bonus that I have here. All the technical SEO audits checklists, you can just go to HTTPS and my short link here. The glossary, if you don't understand the words that I was saying here, the glossary is there. And of course, to go with the strategy overall for every single team that you have, go with the dirt map for delivery, for the structure, and for the trust. Go for all here. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. You can find me anywhere.
Awesome, Fernando. Thank you so much. I mean, that was a lot of work to do. And I know we had some people in chats talking about some of the limitations of Shopify and sitemaps, and trying to sort out everything that we can do as merchants to better organize our page listings and even interlink between them. I think we did have a couple of quick questions here. Let's see. You got to check out SEMRush, Jim. They have some great content tools there. And yeah, let's go ahead and drop your email here in chat so that people can email you directly. We'll be sure to add that to the show notes as well. I think the number one question that we saw here was optimizing our meta description, meta titles when we're in multi-language. What are your thoughts on multi-language SEO, essentially?
Well, when we are talking about multi-language, or as we call international SEO, that's the most, I would say, most difficult part of SEO, because it's not about just translating the website. It's about having each language with their own standard. And if you are making one simple mistake, the whole website, it can be hidden from the search engines. So in this case, you will need to work with a professional. If you are working for those languages, for example, Spanish, French, German, and your main page is English, you need to do international SEO and work with hreflangs, which are the standards for putting those pages in the right place. Having the canonicals for those pages. So it's a lot of work that you need to do, but of course, you need to be working with an specialist. I don't recommend people to start doing international SEO from the beginning if you don't have any knowledge about what SEO is. But I will recommend to analyze first what are the languages that you want to use. In SEMRush, for example, we're working with around 8 languages. Right now, we have even Chinese in our main page, but from the beginning, we saw that, okay, if we are making any mistake here, nobody's going to be seeing our URLs.
Yeah, it's funny. This isn't exactly e-commerce, but neilpatel.com, their office used to be right next to mine. And I remember one day I was talking to one of their co-founders, essentially his name's Mike Camo. And he says, we see a huge Brazilian audience on our site right now. So we're going to recreate our entire website in Portuguese. And I was like, that sounds like a lot of work. And they recreated the whole site. So they had a Portuguese essentially subdomain, and all of a sudden their rankings exploded in that region. And like, Neil Patel is a very big site, lots of traffic, ranks like #1 for digital marketing, but like, it was totally worth it for them to make maybe a 20 to 50,000, maybe even a little bit more dollar investment in order to capture the native language traffic from their Portuguese audience. And they identified it in their Google Analytics as an opportunity first. And in your case as a merchant, I would say the thing you should do is identify sales by region. And then when those sales hit a certain threshold, that's when you find it's worth it to either branch a subdomain or start investing in SEO in that language natively. Awesome. All right, Fernando, we're going to move directly into our next session.